Menopause, by definition, is when the ovaries stop producing estrogen. What are the things that do happen as estrogen declines? Well, arteries stiffen, cholesterol rises, both the LDL cholesterol and apolipoprotein B. These are bad forms of cholesterol, can go up by up to 20% around the few years around menopause.
Hmm.
Blood pressures go up, metabolism slows down, so it's easier for women to gain weight. Body fat shifts to the belly. And this is that riskier environment that's set up.
Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marx from GoToHealth. We have another important show today, and this show is for women. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, and the risk rises significantly after menopause. Why? We'll find out. Research shows hormonal changes during this time can directly affect heart health, increasing cholesterol, blood pressure, and body fat, all of which raise the risk for heart disease. Yet many women remain unaware of this connection. Doctors say menopause is often overlooked in cardiac care, leaving women without guidance during a pivotal window for prevention. Experts are calling for more education and screening to help women and their doctors recognize the link between menopause and heart disease and take early steps to protect long-term health. Our guest today is Dr. Priya Freaney. She's a cardiologist at Northwestern Medicine Bloom Cardiovascular Institute. She will discuss with us how menopause affects heart health, what symptoms to watch for, and the importance of preventive screening during this stage of life. She has special interests in women's cardiology and echocardiography. Her research focuses on the prevention of heart disease in women with an emphasis on sex-specific risk factors such as preeclampsia and premature menopause. If you want to learn more, you can go to nm.org/heart. That's Northwestern Medicine, nm.org/heart. And before we get to the doctor, a reminder and request. If you like what you're hearing on our show, please give us a 5-star review or a thumbs up on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, or wherever you're listening to us. It helps us get the word out to more people. Really appreciate your support. Thanks in advance. So welcome to the show, Dr. Priya Freaney. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So tell us, what do women need to know about how menopause affects heart health? This is a new subject for me and maybe for many others.
Of course. So menopause marks a real turning point for women's hearts. First zooming out a little beyond menopause to give scope to the conversation, heart disease is the number one killer of women in the United States. 1 in 3 deaths in women in the United States is due to heart disease, and many people don't know this fact. So there was a survey done of United States women, and they were asked, what are you most likely to die from? And less than half of people answered correctly that the answer was heart disease. A lot of people think the answer is breast cancer, but women are 10 times more likely to die of heart disease than breast cancer. And so there's a big need for conversations like this and for sort of spreading awareness and educating folks about what can happen to the heart and then how can we prevent problems with the heart. So now coming back to menopause, why is menopause and heart disease relevant? So menopause, by definition, is when the ovaries stop producing estrogen. And prior to menopause, estrogen has a protective effect on the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so as that estrogen declines, there's several downstream things that happen that put the heart in a riskier position and lead to this acceleration of heart disease risk.
And so what are the most important steps women can take to lower their risk? Is there anything we can do about this?
There's a lot we can do. Prevention is super powerful here. So first, what are the things that do happen as estrogen declines? Well, arteries stiffen, cholesterol rises, both the LDL cholesterol and apolipoprotein B. These are bad forms of cholesterol, can go up by up to 20% around the few years around menopause. Blood pressures go up, metabolism slows down, so it's easier for women to gain weight. Body fat shifts to the belly. And this is that riskier environment that's set up that I spoke of. So what things can women do? First is bringing light to the conversation with their doctors because, around menopause, there's a lot of things that women do feel, symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, mood disturbances, sleep disturbances. And these are all things that many women will bring up with their doctors and seek therapies for. But this heart disease risk that I'm describing is really happening silently in the background. The cholesterol going up, we don't feel. The blood pressure going up, slowly creeping up, we usually don't feel. And so getting ahead of that and really taking time to investigate and knowing your numbers is the number one thing you can do to start to lower your risk. So every woman should know their blood pressure, know their cholesterol, know their blood sugar, know their waist circumference, know what the ideal numbers are for all of these, and then have a conversation with their doctor about how they're going to close the gap if there's a gap between what they are and ideal, and know that this can be lifestyle or lifestyle plus medicines when appropriate. So you can't fix what you don't measure. So first is measuring and knowing your numbers. And then there are several lifestyle measures like exercise, diet, etc., that can really lead to an improved cardiovascular profile that I'm happy to sort of double click on if you're interested.
Please, let's double click on that. I like it.
So, okay, what are the lifestyle things we can do to improve our heart health? One is move your body most days of the week. So, the American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes of cardiovascular exercise per week. For women going through menopause or even before menopause, we should also get at least 2 days of strength training per week because that will help offset the loss of muscle mass that naturally happens as estrogen declines.
Mhm.
Next is eating a Mediterranean style diet. So, really eating for your heart, being very mindful of what you're putting into your body and how it's going to affect your blood pressure profile and your cholesterol profile. So, eating lots of plants, lean proteins, avoiding processed foods is very important. Avoiding tobacco altogether is critical. And then lastly is paying attention to symptoms. So a lot of times around menopause, people feel various things that they'll just attribute to this must be menopause. I've never had menopause before, but it feels bad, so I'm just going to let it be. But if there's something that you feel is not right with the body and especially with the heart, please seek treatment.
Doctor, you didn't mention alcohol. I know there have been recent studies coming out about the difficulties of drinking alcohol. Can you speak to that in terms of women's health?
Yeah, of course. So the American Heart Association recommends one or less drink per day for women. And one drink is defined as 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or an ounce and a half of hard liquor. So, first of all, almost always in the United States, our pores are bigger than that. Trying to reduce alcohol and keeping it under that. And, less is better. So if you have some days with no alcohol, that's good as well.
Good. Now, for a woman who's just coming into menopause, and I'm not a woman, so I don't know, is this a difficult topic to bring up with your doctor when you may not know what the symptoms are, you don't know what's going on, or you're a little bit shy about mentioning it to your doctor? Is this an issue? And is there something we should encourage women to do if they think they're just coming into menopause?
Yes, it is so important to bring attention to this matter because it is difficult for women to talk about. There's a lot of stigma around this topic. And the more we can have open conversations like this about all of the different things that do happen to the woman's body, the more we can empower women to feel like they can bring this up with their doctors. Now, on the other side, doctors can help support women during this menopause transition too. It doesn't have to all be on the patient to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be connecting the dots between menopause and heart health in every exam room that we're in women who are in the perimenopausal years. And this means asking women proactively about their menopause symptoms. For us as cardiologists, checking cardiometabolic profiles more regularly during this period of accelerated risk, using our other tools in our toolkits to define heart disease when needed, imaging tests and medications when we decide that it's relevant, talking about the other conditions that can occur in menopause that affect heart health, like sleep disturbances, mood disturbances, stress. For too long, menopause has been seen as just a gynecologic issue, but it's really a whole body transition. And there are estrogen receptors from your head to your toes. So cardiologists need to be part of the conversation, and so do many other doctors.
Good. And should we be seeing doctors more frequently when we're in menopause, or is once a year good enough? How often should we be seen?
At least once a year. Absolutely. You should be having your annual overall healthcare visit, and menopause should be a conversation in that. And then it should be an individualized approach of what other support you might need around the time of menopause to layer onto that.
Good. So I want to mention again where people can go to learn more. It's nm.org. That's for Northwestern Medicine, nm.org/heart. So Dr. Freaney, Is there a question I haven't asked that I should have, or what kind of big message would you like to leave with people today?
The biggest message is that this isn't the end. A lot of people ask, is menopause just the body, the woman's body starting to shut down? Average age of menopause is 51, and average life expectancy for a woman is 81. So we are spending 40% of our lives in the postmenopausal years. There's plenty of good life still to be lived. And the message should really be that this is a really great time to take charge of your heart health, even if what's happening is sort of silent, and that your future self will thank you so that you can do your best to prevent common forms of heart disease down the road.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Doctor. It's been really good to talk about this, and I appreciate the conversation.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Sure. We've been talking with Dr. Priya Freaney. She's a cardiologist at Northwestern Medicine in Chicago, Illinois. Again, if you want to learn more, you can go to nm.org/heart. She has special interests in women's cardiology and echocardiography. Her research focuses on the prevention of heart disease in women with an emphasis on sex-specific risk factors such as preeclampsia and premature menopause. She's an active member of the American College of Cardiology and the American Heart Association. She's board certified in echocardiography, internal medicine, and cardiovascular diseases. Again, thanks, Doctor, for being with us today. It's been very helpful.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Good. This has been Jonathan Marx with GoToHealth. And as we say at the end of every show, go to health and go see your doctor. Make sure you get checked out. Take care. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thanks, Priya.
Bye. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in today to Go to Health. You are one of almost 10,000 people per day who enjoy the evidence-based health information offered by our guest health experts. You can watch us on our website and YouTube and listen to us on 8 podcast networks. Be sure to join Jonathan Marx in our upcoming shows each week. If you like our show, please share this episode with your friends and colleagues. You can subscribe to the show, join our email list, send us feedback, browse through the online store, and view our library of over 150 shows at gotohealthmedia.com. See you next time, and remember to elevate your life with Go to Health.